Thank you for your interest in the Ficod 09 Premier Entrepreneurs Competition. This is an exciting opportunity for entrepreneurs to present their innovative ideas to a team of investors and judges from all over the world, including hotbeds of innovation such as Silicon Valley and Boston. So, what do you need to do to enter this competition? Basically, all you have to do is make a 90-second elevator pitch, which is a brief overview of your company that's very easy to understand. Now, there are three main questions that you should address in this elevator pitch. That is, what is your project? Why is this project special? And who is your team? So now I'm going to go through each of these questions one by one and tell you what to do. Okay, so first off, what is your project? So this is your chance to really show what problem your project is addressing, how you solve that problem, who the key stakeholders are, like who are the people who are affected by this problem and who would actually care about your solution, and then what are your future plans for your business. It's also important to include a high concept pitch, which is basically a 3 or 4 line or 3 or 4 word phrase that summarizes your company. For example, Cisco, a Cisco system uses "we network networks." So the whole point of all of this is you want to make it really easy for the audience to remember your company and remember what you do. So what makes your project special? Investors know that there's a lot of competition in the marketplace, and so they want to know, why should they invest in you? Why do you have something that other teams do not? So this is your chance to really highlight if you have an all-star team, if you already have really impressive figures with sales, anything that makes your project really stand out of the crowd. So what you want to do in this section is just make sure that you highlight the most memorable and the most impressive statistics about your company. And finally, what is your team? Who is your team? So investors want to know, why is your team ready to take on this project? So you need to cover any relevant experience people have, any credentials they have, but only the things that are relevant, because people don't want to hear your whole history and your whole CV or resume. They just want to hear the things that will make you succeed at this business. Because for investors, the product is nothing, but the team is everything. So you really need to highlight why your team is the team to go with. Okay, so now that we've discussed the questions that are important to consider when making your presentation, it's important to note that you don't have to have answers to all of these questions in your presentation or necessarily include them in a certain order. The important thing is just use these questions to help figure out the parts of your company that are most impressive and highlight those parts. Because you want to make your presentation stand out to judges. Judges are going to be seeing a lot of these presentations. So if you highlight the most impressive statistics, the most impressive stories first, then you're going to grab the judges or the audience's attention and they'll remember you. It's also important to be passionate about what you're presenting about, because if you're not passionate, why would the judges be passionate? Why would your audience really care about what you're doing if you also don't care about what you're talking about, what your company does? And finally, just one suggestion or one idea is, a lot of times it helps to sort of tell your presentation as a story. So discuss the problem, but maybe give like a real example of a story that goes along with that problem. And then discuss the solution so that by the time you talk about the solution, people are relieved, people are happy for you and your company and presenting a solution to that problem. Okay, so now that we're done with the training, just remember that the purpose of your pitch is to excite. It's not to educate. And so on behalf of the Ficod 09 Entrepreneurs Competition, we would like to thank you for your entry and for helping create the next generation of world-changing businesses.